There's a quiet kind of beauty that doesn't walk into a room loudly, it arrives, and somehow, everyone feels it. It's not about perfect features, flawless skin, or the latest trends. It's something deeper, something built, refined, and lived every single day. And if you've ever wondered why some women seem effortlessly magnetic, the answer isn't what most people think. Simon Sinek often talks about the power of consistency and purpose. And when you apply that to personal presence, something powerful happens. Because the truth is, irresistible beauty isn't something you're born with, it's something you practice. It starts with how you begin your day. Not with your phone, not with scrolling through other people's lives, but with intention. Women who carry that undeniable presence don't wake up reactive, they wake up deliberate. They take a moment to center themselves. Maybe it's silence, maybe it's journaling, maybe it's simply breathing before the chaos begins. That small act sends a message to your mind: I'm in control of how I show up today. And that control creates calm. That calm becomes confidence. And confidence, that's the foundation of real beauty. Then comes the habit of self-respect. Not the kind that's spoken loudly, but the kind that shows in choices. The way you speak, the way you dress, the way you walk away from things that don't serve you. Irresistible women don't chase validation, they create standards. They don't beg for attention, they decide what deserves their attention. And people can feel that. Because when a woman respects herself deeply, the world adjusts accordingly. There's also the way they communicate. Not just words, but tone, timing, and intention. They listen more than they interrupt. They speak with clarity, not chaos. They don't try to prove they're right in every moment, they choose connection over ego. And that emotional intelligence, it's rare, it's powerful, it draws people in without effort. Another daily habit is discipline in the small things. It's easy to think beauty is about big transformations. But in reality, it's built in the quiet routines. Drinking water, taking care of your skin, moving your body, not because you hate how you look, but because you respect it. That shift in mindset changes everything. When you care for yourself from a place of appreciation instead of insecurity, it shows. It radiates. And let's talk about posture, not just physical posture, but life posture. How you carry yourself when things don't go your way. How you respond when you're challenged. Women who are truly captivating don't crumble under pressure, they adapt. They stay composed. They don't let temporary emotions control permanent decisions. That level of emotional control is rare, and incredibly attractive. There's also a powerful habit of protecting energy. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every conversation deserves your time. Irresistible women understand that their energy is valuable. They don't over-explain. They don't overextend. They know when to say no, and they do it without guilt. Because they understand something most people don't. Every yes to the wrong thing is a no to something better. Another daily practice is growth. They are always evolving, reading, learning, reflecting, not because they feel behind, but because they know there's always another level. That mindset keeps them sharp, aware, and interesting. Because beauty fades when there's nothing behind it. But when there's depth, curiosity, and awareness, it becomes timeless. Then there's the way they handle attention. They don't rely on it. They don't chase it. And because of that, they often receive more of it. There's a difference between wanting to be seen and needing to be seen. And that difference is everything. When a woman doesn't need approval, her presence becomes authentic. And authenticity is magnetic. There's also the habit of gratitude. It sounds simple, but it's transformative. Women who are truly beautiful don't focus on what they lack, they appreciate what they have. And that perspective shifts their entire energy. It makes them lighter, warmer, more present. And people are naturally drawn to that kind of energy because it feels safe. And let's not ignore the importance of boundaries. Clear, firm, respectful boundaries. Not walls, but filters. They don't let everything in. They don't tolerate disrespect just to avoid conflict. They don't shrink themselves to fit into spaces they've outgrown. That strength, that quiet refusal to accept less than they deserve, that's where real beauty lives. There's also a subtle but powerful habit: they don't rush. Not their words, not their decisions, not their lives. In a world that's constantly pushing for speed, they choose intention. They understand that rushing leads to mistakes, and desperation is never attractive. They move with purpose, and that pace creates presence. Another daily practice is kindness, but not weakness. There's a difference. They treat people well, but they don't tolerate being treated poorly. They give respect, but they also expect it. That balance creates a sense of dignity that's hard to ignore. Because kindness without boundaries leads to being overlooked, but kindness with strength commands respect. They also invest in their inner dialogue. The way they talk to themselves matters. They don't constantly tear themselves down. They don't replay every mistake like a broken record. They correct themselves, they learn, and they move forward. That mental discipline builds resilience. And resilience is one of the most attractive qualities anyone can have. There's also the habit of being present. Fully present. In conversations. In moments. In life. Not distracted. Not half-engaged. When someone feels truly seen and heard by you, it leaves a lasting impression. And that ability to be present. It's rare in a world full of distractions. And finally, they understand something that changes everything. Beauty is not about being perfect, it's about being aligned. Aligned with your values, your actions, your standards, your growth. When everything about you is in alignment, there's a natural confidence that doesn't need to be forced. It just exists. So when you look at a woman and think, there's something about her, it's rarely just what you see. It's what she practices, every day, quietly, consistently. Because irresistible beauty isn't created in a moment, it's built in habits. And the best part, every single one of those habits is a choice.